Welcome to this evening's webinar on what would I change, what would I like to change? And people have sent in their requests, that is the things that they're interested in seeing change, and that they want to work on with me tonight. And so what I'm going to do is go through the list and we'll just take care of people one after the other. But I'd like to remind everyone that whatever I'm working on with one individual is affecting everyone. You don't have to even have a similar sort of situation going on. Whatever is causing you some concern will get attention. And it's just a matter of our having our attention on it, as the group's collective attention is on producing changes for each and every one of us. But we'll start, I think what we'll do here in the room is just go around the room, also get to the folks out there in cyberspace. And so I think we'll just start with the fellow in the white shirt across the room, and we'll just let that go. I, as you know, tend to work pretty much in silence. So I may just check in every once in a while with somebody I'm working on just to see if they're having any particular experience while I'm working, but it really doesn't matter, even if you don't notice anything at the time. Many times changes don't show up even for a few days afterwards. And of course, if you're asking for something really huge, that may manifest more slowly. And some things, of course, are going to take additional sessions, but we're going to try to focus on specific things tonight with the anticipation that they will respond to a few minutes of individual attention and an hour's worth of collective attention. And I want to start out actually with a little bit of a story, because it's on something very different. I was supposed to meet somebody at their office today, and I sent them a text message saying, do you really need me to come? Because I have a lot to do here at home. And they said, no, we don't really need you. And I said, okay, I could come and just, provide some comic relief, I said, being, me. And they said, sent me a text back saying I could use that. And so I said, okay, well, I can do that from where I'm sitting here in the house. And so just expect to have some laughter. And I sat quietly and tuned into them and used one of the matrix energetics. They're called frequencies in matrix energetics. Richard Bartlett, who founded matrix energetics, cognized 21 frequencies, and one of them is very good for lightening the mood. And so I simply used that one, and I immediately burst into tremendous belly laughter, and it went on for about 7 or 8 minutes. And it was just tremendous. I couldn't believe it. I was actually kind of watching myself laugh, and laugh is, really belly laughing. I haven't laughed so hard in a long time, and certainly not for so long. And when I got all done, I sent the person a text message. I said, well, I've been laughing, have you? And they wrote back, yep. And I just thought, this work that I do, it's just really so miraculous, because certainly through the rest of the afternoon, I just felt this levity in me, and I'm sure that that the person I'd worked on also felt that same levity. And it just changes everything. It's just an amazing thing. So I'm gonna have to put that on my website. That one of the things I can do is make people laugh. Okay, so we're gonna start with the gentleman across the room, and I know what he wants to work on, so we're just gonna tune in there. And let me just say, in general, if anybody has any issues with inflammation, this is something that we could put some specific attention on, or whatever comes to your particular mind as we tune in now. And I'm tuning into that collective concern and the individual specific concern here. Some specific spot of inflammation. And we're settling deeply into the source of that. I'll just say generally that inflammation is related to some very old karma. And that's what I'm picking up here. And we're just working on that now. Ho'oponopono is very helpful here. Just, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you, and I'm grateful. We just repeat that just very innocently. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you, and I'm grateful. And I'm experiencing forgiveness flowing as though it was a liquid, just flowing through the body, through the whole energy field around the body. And we're letting that forgiveness penetrate the areas of inflammation, soothe them. As that as that energy is being transformed, I'm feeling a lot of heat being released. We're just going to let that heat go. So that process is going to continue for a while. I see it coming mostly out of the third chakra now. We'll just let that continue. And I'm going to start working on the fellow with the ponytail to my right. And we seem to be dealing with some displaced energy here, energy that's been excluded, is out of the body. So we're going to try to make that energy coherent and useful to the body. Once again, we're clearing up some old karma. And working on the particular system that's affected here. And we're going to undertake some purification. You can all join in with this. Just going to remove some impurities from the body that have accumulated over the years. And we'll bring in 3 special crystals. And I'll finish up my part of that the process will continue of realigning the energy and integrating that displaced energy. It feels pretty good right now. It's flowing back in and becoming one with your physiology, so that's very nice. So we'll go out to someone here in cyberspace with initials LR. And you're getting something very special, a divine blessing. Clearing the way for you, opening the door. There's support and guidance coming from the divine. I'm hearing the word freedom. There's a sense of leaving old stuff behind. It's freedom of the weight of the past, responsibility, and the obstacles the past has placed in your path. Just leaving those go. And I'm feeling laughter within you. It's a kind of release of, comes with something being over, something heavy, burdensome, difficult. Just the laughter that comes with that release. So I'm going to leave you with that divine guidance and support. There's a wonderful flow of energy forward now. It's getting stronger, more really quite intense. Just carrying you forward. So we'll come back into the room and take up the fellow sitting to my left here in the pink shirt. I can't find words to explain what's going on here. It's kind of like when you want to have things go differently, you shake things up and then let the loose stuff fall away, and the stuff that you want to keep finding order and settledness and peace and ease, comfort. Less of an internal struggle. I'm getting a feeling that there's a lot of loose ends here. We're just tidying those up. I'm getting another image here. It's like flying a spaceship through a meteor cloud, dodging this way and that, and then just trying to get through the cloud and out the other side so that you can continue on your journey smoothly and not having to put so much energy and attention into all the things that are, so to speak, hurling at you. And we just settled into a level that's much calmer and more orderly. It's a good level to function from, a level of cosmic intelligence. Where Brahman is the charioteer of life. And just arriving at that, feeling the whole journey smoothing out, just settling down now, taking the right direction, and easily moving along. Very nice, very nice. And just now clearing up some attachment to living as though one is flying through a meteor cloud. I was looking for an archetype of a charioteer, someone who would guide your chariot and drive your chariot. I settled on Arjuna, Krishna, for Arjuna. So if Krishna works for you, you can use that image. So we're going to leave off with you and Krishna's guidance. And we'll take up the concerns of the young lady on my left. So again, I find some displaced energy. So I'm just going to be working with that for a little while. So as that process continues to integrate, move to a fellow in cyberspace with the initials DN. We just take that question, what would I like to change? And I'm just doing some alignment of energy now so that the energy flows freely through the system. Opening the central channel. Producing greater energy flow, something everybody can participate in. Energy level is much improved. I'm sensing a nice balancing of energy in this person and in everyone, an increase in vitality, clarity, purpose, and ease. Being easy in life. Marshy said things like, dive deep and come out and enjoy. Yes, more vitality, feeling more alive. Feeling more alive. Being and becoming. I can feel that growing in the whole group. I was just checking in because I thought maybe if we kept going, nobody'd be able to sleep tonight. But it'll be okay. It'll be okay because it's all grounded on an inner sense of peace. So now just checking in on the whole group. And a sense of this rippling out to others that we're connected with. Letting them connect with this inner peace, bliss, and cosmic intelligence that guides us. Divine guidance for everyone. That's not a wish, I'm observing that. And that'll do it for our attention. We'll give everybody a minute or two to come back into the room, so to speak. If you're on the phone in cyberspace and press *9, I believe it will give me a signal here that you want to say something. I hope I didn't let my voice drop too much during that. I was feeling awfully settled, not awfully, delightfully settled while I was doing that. And there's a lot going on inside, but not a lot comes out, or if it does, it comes out fairly quietly. One more message here. So anyone want to share any experience while we were doing all of this? Either while I was working with you or at any other, I'm peeking around the computer for those who are out in cyberspace.
Just near the end of when you were working on me, I felt very strong in my neck. I had some visuals that went with it. Maybe there's some story there, but it's much more than I'm used to.
Mm-hmm. He was saying at the end of the time I was working on him that he had some very strong sensations in the neck, much more than he was accustomed to. And he said there might be some story attached to that. Generally, it's a good idea not to get wrapped up in the stories. They tend to perpetuate rather than resolve. So if we get some insight, that's fine. It may or may not reflect what may have actually happened in the past, perhaps, or even what's going on now. So we just, it's like thoughts in meditation. We just let them float through and not pay them much attention. It's okay that they're there. In my work, what appears in the story that may unfold is just useful in its own right, and we don't worry about what it may mean. This spares myself and everyone else any having to deal with that story or remember it, and it's often best not to remember the stories, and just to let those things float through, and it's okay. It's just we take that as it comes. But the fact that there was some attention here in the neck, some purification may have been taking place. That's certainly a good possibility since I was working around there. So we just take it as a good sign, and we'll see over the next few days just how that whole part feels. Sensations are just a sign that things are changing, and we just accept them as they come. Anyone else? Yeah.
Early on, when you were talking about feeling the core, and then apologizing, forgiving, I feel myself really hating. It was full of rage, and I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was such a contrast between what you were saying. It softened and softened. And it was just about everything, every stage of your, just about every stage. When you were describing things, I was noticing some shifts of greater relaxation. When you described me hurtling through the asteroid belt, I feel a lot, getting thumped a lot.
So there were two parts of that. One was when I was using the technique from Ho'oponopono. He was feeling a great deal of something that was enraged inside him that was very much in contrast to the bliss of the Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, I'm grateful. And but he kept repeating it, and then that softened and dissipated that energy. And that's often the way that goes when you're working with something like that, and it seems like, there's this thing, and it doesn't want to be treated in that way, but you just do that, and then it's very, very gentle, and it's very soft, and then it just melts into and that energy integrates. We call those energy tangles when we feel like there's something really intense in there, and then it just dissipates like that. That's really nice. And then that the second part, remind me, hurtling through the asteroids. taking on a lot of thunks. He was really experiencing that. There was an image. Now that's again an example of something that just came to me as a thought. It doesn't mean he was hurtling through asteroids or anything like that, but he goes, "I guess it did." But it's a way of just having a visual to process. And sometimes it comes in sound, and it can come in physical sensations. It does, or even combinations, of course. But it's just a way of processing the thing. And many times, a lot of clients I work with are very good at a kind of symbolic processing. Stuff just shows up, and they deal with it on that level. And one of the rules, so to speak, when you're working with that is you never ask what it means. You just deal with it as it is, because it's processing. There's something inside that's directing that, and you just let that go on. And there's just, from my side, there's a little bit of guidance that's sometimes given, but it's just a little bit to keep it on track. And then it just takes care of itself. It works itself out, and the energy just dissipates, and everything's okay. So, and I've said that many times on the webinars, that it's amazing. And particularly, I think that the first one we were doing there was that first or second, maybe it was when we were out in cyberspace, I guess, that, there was just divine guidance there that came. And in a sense, that's always true, but sometimes it's really delicious because it just shows up and something divine is there. And I just get to be the witness, the sort of reporter of what's happening or what I'm seeing happening. But I'm seeing that guidance be there. And I find that very humbling, actually. It's like my job is to show up and just put attention on, and then everything else just takes care of itself. So it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. I'm going to just check here. I'm seeing a message come in. And somebody says, thank you. I felt impact throughout the entire session. So very good. That's a lovely comment. Thank you. Appreciate it. Anyone else out there in cyberspace? You can type it into the chat function. Again, I think *9 opens that up, or else it puts a hand up. I'm not sure which happens because I haven't done it myself, but I'm always glad to hear people provide feedback from out there in cyberspace. Anything?
I just had the deepest transcendence I've had in a long time. I was in that breathless state most of the time.
Beautiful. She said she was in the transcendence space. I think you said
The deepest transcendence.
Deepest transcendence.
That I've had
Yeah. In a long, long time. So, and that's a fairly common report that I get when we're working. And oftentimes there's like no specific experience. It's just transcendence, nothingness, beautiful, blissful nothingness. On the other side of the room, he had lots of thoughts. Oh, then he settled down. Okay. Very good. And then good. Well, we had some nice times with everybody tonight. Indeed, it was a pleasure for me to be able to participate in this with you and share this experience. And we've all done a lot for each other, and it'll be interesting. I hope you'll give me feedback over the next few days as you have some experience of what has changed. So with that, we'll conclude our webinar and look forward to seeing you next month. I don't know what we're going to do next month. It hasn't come to me yet. But when it does, I'll let you know.